Hey, it's Marco Hanna from PhoneDog.com, and we're taking a look at the new BLU Vivo 4.8 HD. This is a new addition to their lineup of BLU devices, this one claiming to be their thinnest ever device, measuring in at only 6.9mm, except for the slight camera hump. Other than the camera hump, the features are quite minimal. One slightly annoying design cue, however, is the power sleep wake button on the left side below the volume rocker. Just doesn't feel natural if you've used anything else. But you can't ignore how small and lightweight this phone is. It's made out of a polycarbonate shell on the back and comes in a few colors and houses some decent mid-range specs. Starting off with its display, it's a 4.8-inch Super AMOLED to deliver bright, vibrant colors, but to my eyes it always pushes the saturation just a tad much, even more than your usual Samsung Galaxy S device. Plus, the resolution's only 1280 by 720. Not a big deal, but I would have preferred a 1080p display, and just imagine how many pixels per inch inside a smaller 4.8-inch display. Inside, you'll find a 1.5 GHz quad-core processor. It's funny that they give it the name of the A7 Cortex processor because that's a highly generic name for processors. In reality, it's one of their commonly used MediaTek processors, completely not the quickest silicon in the world, but this one is not targeted for hardcore users. The phone runs Android 4.2.1 Jelly Bean with BLU's custom skin on top, and it feels, well, from the home screens and the app menus, almost like stock Android. You'll only notice a few BLU applications like App Manager, but it feels like a nice form of stock Android. It's only when you dive deeper into the menu structure, like settings, to find all the BLU DNA. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of their structure. Some of it just seems out of order and just really confusing. Not saying it's bad, just saying it wouldn't work for me. And even just running through all the menus, you will run into a few hiccups. The smaller clock CPU may have some trouble running the whole operating system. Just a few minor hiccups like opening applications while other multiple applications are open and so on. Now, BLU has put two cameras on here, an 8-megapixel rear-facing camera and a 5-megapixel front-facing camera. The latter of the two would be my best choice. For some reason, the rear camera always has some kind of noise in the picture quality, even in broad daylight. Not exactly sure where that's coming from, but the front-facing camera is good enough to look superior to other smartphones, especially when you use video applications like Skype. Now, BLU has their own web browser and it runs fairly well, but to keep these reviews universal, I'll be using Google Chrome. And yes, it does lag a bit. Larger websites with more content and media will need to refresh every so often since the RAM is only rated at 1 GB. But as an experience of a mid-range smartphone, this one is pretty high up there. So if you're looking for a cheaper alternative and wanted a larger display with some pretty decent specs, the 4.8 HD is a pretty good alternative. I have to say the design is one of the best, especially for a mid-range and so moderately priced device. Usually they use the cheapest materials and make the phone thicker to persuade you to buy into their more expensive flagships, while BLU keeps their price tag at a modest $249. That's off contract. And even with its smaller size, battery life still stands strong. A smaller 2000 mAh batteries inside, and it lasts me a full day. I get really strong battery life throughout the whole day, but it seems that after we hit the 10% zone, it falls off rather quickly. Downfalls? Like all other BLU devices, LTE is not available. It's a bummer, but HSPA Plus is a pretty quick network on its own, and if you live internationally, then basically that's your only option anyway. So I want you guys to let me know, what do you think about the new BLU Vivo 4.8? Is it worth the $249 investment for an unlocked, no-contract smartphone? Let us know in the comments below, or send me a tweet at PhoneDog_Marco, or even let me know what you'd like to see next from PhoneDog and myself. Thank you for watching. Much more content coming right here at PhoneDog.com, but for now, my name is Marco Hanna.